Welcome back to the channel, LEGO fans. If you are new to the channel, please like this video, and if you really want to support the channel, please subscribe to see more exciting LEGO builds. So in this video, we will be bringing out our inner botanist by building the LEGO set Flower Bouquet. The Flower Bouquet was released on January 2nd of 2021 and is part of the Creator Expert line. The sub-theme that this set is categorized in is the Botanical Collection, which includes the bonsai tree in which I featured in a previous video, and soon the Birds of Paradise set. This set is aimed directly at adult fans of LEGO, and those fans, including me, loved this set when it came out. This set sold out immediately, both in stores as well as online, or even now, believe it or not, 5 months later, this set suffers from intermittent stock issues. The Flower Bouquet retails for $19.99 and has 759 pieces, so this build will take anywhere around about an hour to an hour and a half to build. There are 3 different steps to this build, which each of these steps we are building 2 different types of flowers. The first type of flower that we are building are 2 daisies. The 2 daisies are a fairly simple build with using rounded 1x2 white elements to represent the flower petals and a round yellow element to represent the middle of the flower. You build 3 separate white flower elements, combine them into one element to make a daisy. Since there are 2, you do this step, well, twice. I will have to say that the build does accurately represent a daisy, and I think that anyone would be able to tell that these are daisies if they didn't know anything about this set. You also might find this piece of trivia interesting. So the LEGO group has been slowly trying to steer away from plastic-based LEGO pieces because we all know that plastics, well, they damage the environment. So they have started this initiative where they would make LEGO pieces out of plant-based plastics. Apparently, they found out how to do this with sugarcane. Don't ask me how, but I think that's some wild wizardry here. Subsequently, they have replaced plastic tree, leaf, and bush elements with these plant-based plastic tree elements. So LEGO says, well, using plants to represent plants. So the second type of flower that we are building here are roses. There are a total of 3 roses that come in this set. I think out of all the flowers in this set, the roses don't seem to represent the real-life roses to me too much. I don't know whether it was the build itself or the color of the LEGO roses. Perhaps if the roses were red, which is a common color in which we associate these flowers, it may have been better. I suppose the only way that we can tell is if we swap out the peach-colored petals with red-colored ones, if LEGO even makes those. When I was trying to attach the petals on the green steering wheel type element, I found that spacing the petals evenly was difficult. Again, my perfectionist tendencies got in the way, so I spent a good amount of time repositioning these petals. Also, the clips that were on the bottom of the petals do not clip on very well to the steering wheel element either. The petals kept falling off when I was trying to reposition them. Another thing that I found repetitive was the building of the stems of the flowers. This happens with every single flower that you need to build for this Lego set. However, the repetition is understandable given the subject matter you are building, but what I found slightly disappointing was the top heavy weight of the flowers. You have to cluster the flowers together in order for them to face a specific direction because of the weight of the petals, especially on the snapdragons. In step 2, we are building yet another 2 different types of flowers. The first flower in step 2 that we are building is one California poppy. The petal elements that are being used in this part of the build are usually found in Lego cars and airplanes to make roofs. However, with the genius of Lego, they decided to make these elements an orange color and substitute them in as petals. This is actually also the same element that you find on the rose in step 1. The second type of flower that you are building in step 2 are the snapdragons, which I found to be the coolest part of the set. I love how the shape of the snapdragons and the colors of the petals with how they are dark pink at the bottom, and as you gradually transition to the top of the flower, the colors lighten, much like the real flower that this part of the set is based off of. I like it how the individual flowers clip onto these light green octagonal elements to form a larger flower. Unfortunately, I do have to gripe about the weight of these snapdragons. So due to the amount of pieces on this flower and the scale of it compared to the rest of the flowers, it is hard to make these snapdragons face in a certain direction due to the sheer weight. The flower seems to want to always rotate away from you, which I found frustrating to arrange this snapdragon in the direction I want it to be in. Other than that, as I said before, it is by far my most favorite flower in this set. Finally, in step 3, we are building the last 2 types of flowers, starting off with the lavender. The lavender is unfortunately the most repetitive flower to build in this whole entire set. I found the building with these small parts tended to be a little frustrating. The most frustrating thing was to individually put on little purple flower pieces on brown stems and sometimes these flower pieces would fall off when I was arranging them. So within this part of the build, there are 9 little subflowers, and each of the 9 subflowers has 6 little purple flower pieces, which makes a grand total of 54 of those little purple flower pieces that you need to place on top of the stems. I also found that the Lego lavender does represent the real-life counterpart well. However, the size of the purple Lego flowers seem to be bigger than the real petals that you would find on a lavender. The last flower that we are building is a single aster. The building of this Lego aster is accomplished by using the same green steering wheel element as the base of the model, and then arranging purple leaf pieces repeatedly in a circle to represent the body of the flower. Again, I found that it was slightly hard to arrange these purple leaf pieces evenly around the green steering wheel. Also, for some reason, any kind of clip-type Lego piece that you try to attach onto this steering wheel piece tends to be rather loose, and you can easily knock off the pieces if you jostle the flower too much. However, despite the above issues, I find this to be the second best looking flower in this set. Overall, I've found this set enjoyable to build. However, there were many parts of the set that were repetitive and therefore a bit tedious after a while to build. Unfortunately, you cannot get much variation of builds if you are building the same symmetric geometric shape. However, once you put the flowers and the leaves into a vase, the set really comes to life and pops out. In fact, it looks so good that the Flower Bouquet is one of the few sets that I keep out of my man cave and in a common living room space. Anyway, thanks for your support, everyone, and please remember to like, subscribe, and finally hit that bell icon for notifications of new videos and builds. I will see you all in the next build.